Welcome to Polk Today. I'm your host, Brian Lacey. Polk Today is a daily show airing right here on PGTV. It happens Monday through Friday. We have useful county information, weather with Billy Abernathy, highlights from PGTV programs, along with previewing upcoming meetings. Today is September 10th, 2014. It's a Wednesday. Now, the Board of County Commissioners recently held the first of two public hearings on the fiscal year 2014-15 budget. Communications Director Mayanne Nelson and Budget Officer Todd Bodd give us some insight on the numbers, process, and results.
Good morning. I'm Mayanne Nelson, Communications Director for the Polk County Board of County Commissioners. My guest this morning is Todd Bodd, and Todd is the Budget Officer. Let's ask Todd a few questions about Monday night's budget hearing, as it was an important night for Polk County residents looking ahead to fiscal year 14-15. Todd, tell us about the budget that was approved, the amount and the millage, if you can, and what that means for Polk County residents.
Okay. The public hearing Monday night was actually one of two public hearings that's required by statute. The purpose of the public hearings is for the board to discuss and establish a budget as well as millage rates for the property taxes. So they did that on Monday night. They established a budget of about approximately $1.27 billion. And they established a millage rate which matches the fiscal year 13-14 millage rate, with the exception of there's an additional millage rate for citizens who own property in the Rancho Bonito area. So by keeping the same millage rates, the board has basically kept our taxes down to lower than the fiscal year 07-08 timeframe. So it's good news. The same millage rates primarily for most citizens, and then a total budget of about $1.27 billion. Now, as I mentioned, it was one of two public hearings that's required by statute. The second public hearing was set for Monday, September 15th at 6 p.m. in the Board Commission boardroom. And once that meeting is over, we will have an adopted fiscal year 14-15 budget.
Now, Todd, the meeting next Monday night is also a public hearing. So any resident that wants to come and speak before the board has that opportunity, correct?
Yes, that is correct. For both of the public hearings, citizens have the ability to come up and share their thoughts, concerns, discussions to the board. And one of the things I just wanted to mention also is the public hearings are kind of a culmination of numerous meetings, workshops, discussions with the board on the budget that really start in February at their planning retreat.
Now, we talked about the millage remaining the same, so property values have gone up. People will see a little bit of an increase in their tax bill, correct?
Yes, that is correct. There's two parts to property taxes: the property value, which is established by the Polk County Property Appraiser, and then the millage rates that are established by different taxing authorities throughout the county. In this instance, the Board of County Commissioners has the ability to establish millage rates for county-wide millage, as well as some unincorporated municipal services taxing units. As I mentioned before, the board kept the millage rates the same, but if your property value went up, then you would see a slight increase in what you're paying in your property taxes. However, by keeping the same millage rates since fiscal year 07-08, and we've had a major decline through the last 5 to 10 years in property values. As I mentioned, our taxes are still lower than what they were back in fiscal year 07-08.
Now, the millage and the property ad valorem is one part of a bill for the unincorporated Polk County. Tell us a little bit about fees, those fees that we pay for fire service and waste and recycling. Sure.
There's also what's called non-ad valorem assessments. And as Mayanne just mentioned, we have an assessment for fire services where it's a certain amount per house. Usually with your non-ad valorem assessment, it's an amount per structure. So for example, with the fire assessment, it's $168 per residential structure. And then there's different rates for commercial properties and other structures. We also have a solid waste assessment. And we have some miscellaneous assessments that are charged to different properties, from street lighting assessments if your neighborhood has street lights in the yards, to road MSBU. There were some areas where we paved roads and are charging an assessment to some of those residents. There's Lazy S MSBU, which is also an assessment out there. And hopefully I'm not forgetting any, but
and the stormwater assessment.
Stormwater is actually a municipal services taxing unit.
Okay.
So that is part of the millage rate that's established. So that was established at 0.1 mil. It was established last year for the first time and is the same rate for fiscal year 14-15.
Very good. Well, Todd, I hope you join me in inviting everyone to either watch on PGTV Monday night or be here in the boardroom as part of the budget process so that they have a chance to voice their opinion and take part in county government.
Yes, please do. That's the opportunity, and that's why the public hearings are there, is to provide that possibility for citizens to come in and share their thoughts with the commissioners.
Polk County Elderly Services is committed to the needs of age 60 plus and disabled adults within the community. They provide case management to eligible individuals, frail and elderly, by tending to physical, medical, environmental, social, and mental conditions. Specialists Dave Walters and Hope Jones have all the details.
We're shining the social services spotlight on elderly services today. We're going to learn from Elderly Services Manager Hope Jones how her and her team helped with the elderly nutritional needs.
Our nutrition program has two components. We have the congregate meal site component or side. We have 14 meal sites in the county, and that provides a hot meal in the middle of the day, a lunch meal for individuals, and it also provides activities. People can play cards, we have bingo, they play dominoes, they play board games, they have a Wii game at one of the sites, they have exercise programs offered. We have people come in from Veterans and Social Security and other similar agencies to help educate people about the benefits that they may be qualified for. Well, they get to the meal sites, some of them drive, some walk, and then those who can't do either one of those or get a ride with someone else, we provide transportation. As we age, we tend to lose our friends, sometimes lose our spouses, our kids grow up and have their own families and their own responsibilities, and people can start to feel very isolated. That can lead to depression. Depression leads to not eating as well, and people tend not to eat very well when they're eating alone anyway. It's easier to make a bowl of cereal and eat it than it is to make a meal, and when you're only cooking for yourself, you're not quite as motivated as maybe when you were part of a family, or maybe you weren't the one who was doing the cooking and you really don't know quite what to do, so you're living off of soup and cereal. So that opportunity to not only socialize but have a good nutritious meal, and it is nutritionally balanced, is a great opportunity for people. The inquiries come from all directions. They come from family members concerned about their parents or aunt or uncle, the individual themselves, neighbors that might call up and ask, they know that this person's a little bit isolated. We also conduct outreach. Anything that we can do to let people know about the congregate meal sites, we do, because we find them to be very important for the community. The number of clients that we serve at our congregate meal sites are about 500 a day, and we still have room for more. We encourage people to attend the meal sites, but if not, then we do have a home delivered component, and people get 5 frozen meal packs delivered once a week to their homes. And that's designed for people who can't get out or have such extenuating circumstances that they can't attend. If they wanted to contact us to find out where a meal site is, they can call 863-534-5320 and ask about meals, or they can go onto the Polk County Board of County Commissioners website.
Staying on top of events here at Polk today includes a look at the weather for the latest forecast conditions and a look at what's happening in the tropics. We take you to the Emergency Operations Center with EOC Coordinator Billy Abernathy. Hey, Billy.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bill Abernathy, Polk County Emergency Management from the Emergency Operations Center. This is your weather brief for Wednesday, September 10th, 2014. For today, we can expect a high of around 90 with partly sunny skies and a low of around 74 with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. Winds will be generally from the east at 3 to 5 miles per hour. And for Thursday, we can expect a high of around 93 with a low of 73. 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. Winds will be from the east at 3 to 6 miles per hour. And for Friday, we can expect a high of around 91 with a low of 73 with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. Winds will be generally from the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour. And now to the tropics. Currently, we're monitoring a wave over the Bahamas, identified with a white circle. This system is currently disorganized with a western movement of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Development of this system in 48 hours is at 10% and in 5 days at 20%. Currently, we're also monitoring a low pressure Invest 91, 500 miles west of the Cape Verde Islands, identified with the yellow circle. Environmental conditions will become more favorable in the earlier parts of next week as this system moves northwest at 15 miles per hour. Development of this system in 48 hours is at 20% and in 5 days at 70%. We're currently also monitoring a wave in the Western Caribbean off the coast of Nicaragua and Honduras, identified with the blue circle. This system is moving west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. I'm Bill Abernathy, Polk County Emergency Management from the Emergency Operations Center. I'll see you back here tomorrow on PGTV. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks, Billy. PGTV is Polk County's government access cable TV channel. Our programming allows residents easier access to county government meetings and local programming. One such program is Polk Place. Polk Place offers government entities and nonprofit organizations the opportunity to get their message out and promote upcoming activities. Recent guests from Bikers Against Child Abuse have the details on their efforts and how they change the lives of children in need. You guys taped with us about a year and some change ago, and you're talking about the growth that you're experiencing, and I think from a PGTV Polk Place standpoint, the video that you guys did with this, over 20,000 views, and it really speaks to the work of what you guys do and the comments that are made as far as the work that you guys do and the growth that you're experiencing. Let's talk about that video.
Yeah, absolutely. We were here about a year ago, and we had 4 chapters at that point. Thousand Lakes here in Polk County was just starting up, and in little over a year's time, we now have 8 chapters in the state of Florida. We have forming efforts in 4 other communities. We're all the way down to Miami. We've opened up in Daytona. We're over in Tarpon Springs in the Tampa area. We're in Fort Myers. Forming efforts in Melbourne, Tallahassee. We're just spreading. And the video itself, it's been amazing, the response that we've got from people around the world. We've had comments come in from the Netherlands, Italy, that have watched it. I had a gentleman contact me from Indiana that said based on that video, they're starting a chapter. He's played that video to some of his friends. They're starting a BACA chapter in Indiana. So we really appreciate the coverage that we've got as far as growing BACA, but more importantly, the word's getting out about what we do for children, and we're getting referrals for children that need our help.
That's going to do it for today's show. As a reminder to keep current with programs in progress in the county, visit us online at polk-county.net or follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or check out the Polk County YouTube channel. I invite you to join us Thursday as we take a tour of the Polk Museum of Art's kids display and remember 9/11 with a local tribute from Polk County Fire Rescue. For Polk Today, I'm Brian Lacey, and we'll see you tomorrow.